All right, right now, let's bring in former federal prosecutor and former Navy JAG, Don Brown. Don, thank you for being here with us this afternoon. Getting right into it. How does fraud over $1 million get such a light sentence?
I think it has to do, first of all, the judge, although Nancy Brazel, although she was a Trump appointee, she was appointed as part of a package recommendation coming out of Minnesota, where the Democrats would recommend one, Republicans would recommend one. This judge is recommended by Senator Amy Klobuchar, and gave a lot of money to Klobuchar's campaign. And what we have here for $3 million in fraud, and this is money stolen from the Department of Agriculture, which is meant to go to children as part of a large Somali scheme. This is a relative tap on the wrist. What I'm hoping to see is deportation for this defendant. He's Somali. We don't know. I don't know exactly whether he's a citizen. If he's not a citizen, if he's a legal resident or a green card holder, he could be deported by an immigration judge. We need to use this entire Somali scheme as an opportunity to deport as many of these criminals as possible. It's an indictment on soft on crime Democrat judges, and it's also an indictment on the out of control immigration system that's brought this Somali community to Minneapolis and to the St. Paul area to begin with.
Yeah, come to America and get free stuff, and when you get caught, you only get a year in jail, then you might be in a halfway house before too long. I mean, what kind of message does that send to people who are sort of thinking about, well, maybe I should try to get me some of that money, and it seems it's like even if I get caught, it's not going to be that bad. What kind of message does that send?
Well, I mean, a life sentence is not a deterrent to future crime. So he comes up and scams $3 million or so and is getting a tap on the wrist. Somebody else might think, well, $3 million, but if they catch me, I'm going to get a year. And probably if it's a federal penitentiary, something that's a little more upscale than most state penitentiaries, it does not deter a future criminal conduct. And so when you're dealing with soft on crime judges, this is what happens. And right now, John Thune is kind of lax on getting President Trump's judicial nominees across the finish line. We got to get more conservative judges who are tough on crime. The main purpose of the criminal justice system is to deter, not rehabilitate, but deter. This is not a sentence which accomplishes anything along the goal of deterring further criminal fraudulent conduct like this, Ike.
Yeah, there's no deterrent whatsoever involved. However, there may be an incentive for good people to do the right thing. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent launching a new program to crack down on healthcare fraud. Previewed the program back in February. Take a look.
It's very exciting. I think it's going to be a great way to ferret out waste, fraud, and abuse, starting in Minneapolis, which has been ground zero. So we are encouraging whistleblowers who know about fraud, people who are stealing from the American taxpayer, to come forward. At Treasury, we're setting up a website, and we will be giving rewards up to 10 to 30% of the fines that we levy.
All right, so as you heard, whistleblowers who turn in Medicare and Medicaid scammers can now earn 30% of the fines collected. Fraud in those programs tops $70 billion a year. Do you think this is a good idea, rewarding the whistleblowers? Is this the most effective way to do it? Sort of allow the community to police and report things as they see them? Got about a minute left.
Great step in the right direction. In this particular instance, with this Feed Our Future scam, you had an NGA or a 501(c) set up, and there were a lot of red flags. Of the 79 defendants arrested, 72 were Somali. A lot of red flags, but the founder of that organization cried racism every time. So I think setting up a program at the federal level is a way to get around some of the blind as the bat procedures used by the Walz administration and the Minnesota Department of Education to sort of turn a blind eye to fraud right under their noses. So I commend the Secretary for this.
Yeah, well, every little bit helps, hopefully. But I can tell you what, for good people doing what's right and paying their taxes, this is a slap in the face, and I hope they get some accountability and root it out as quickly as possible. Don Brown, thanks for being with us this afternoon. All right, still ahead on Ike Wingate America, chaos on the streets.